Welcome to the 2 Feet First Entrepreneur Podcast. I am so happy that you are here today with me. And I want to apologize. There is construction going on outside. Of course, they start right as soon as I'm about ready to record. And so if you can hear it, I apologize. Hopefully you cannot, so it doesn't distract us too much from this topic for today, because I'm so excited to share this with you. This is something that I actually learned a couple weeks ago. Someone shared it with me. It was actually Allie Reeves who shared this with me, and I'm going to link to her down below because she has a fabulous podcast. She shares tips for businesses, especially women entrepreneurs. And so if you are a woman entrepreneur, you are her target audience. And so be sure to jump over there because, it's just going to be life-changing for you. If you don't know who she is, she actually has a mastermind that it's called Game Changers. And honestly, that's what I feel about her, is she's just a game changer to help you get into the right mindset. So let's go into the topic today of what I wanted to discuss with you. And so we all have dreams and ambitions for our future, and it can be hard to stay motivated when you see all the small little details that happen, like all the tasks that you have to do. And sometimes you feel like those tasks are the big tasks, the tasks that you have to accomplish. I mean, I was talking to my pod mate. So this is my accountability pod mate. And I kept telling her, like, you need to focus on 3 tasks. The 3 things that you like, the big things that push you towards your goal. And she's like, well, I just got to get these little things checked off. And finally, just a couple of weeks ago, it hit her. She looked at me and she goes, oh my gosh, you were right. I don't know why I'm doing these small little tasks that make no difference in my business, where the bigger tasks are what's making the difference. And so that's what we're kind of talking about, is what big things you can do to make a big difference inside your business. Because let's face it, it's easy to get lost in the day-to-day task, and it puts off our dreams until the next day. And so we normally tell ourselves something along the lines of, when I reach X, then I'll start doing something else. And this is what we're going to talk about today, and why it's so important to start living your life today as if you are your future self. So I'm going to try and say that again, because this title of this podcast episode is Becoming Your Future Self Now. So the goal here is that you're going to start living your life now to what you want to be. So the bottom line is that we need to become our future selves now. And it's not saying that, oh, well, I want to have X amount of money, so I'll be able to buy this. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, okay, if I'm living something, so let's say if I'm living in this mind, like my goal is to have 10K a month. That's what I'm making in income. So what am I doing then that I should be doing now? What actions, what steps am I taking then that I should be doing now? So for example, it's probably that, I'm sharing content every week, like a main content. So that's a podcast, a YouTube, a blog post. I'm sharing that every week. Plus I'm on social media consistently, not constantly, but consistently. And I'm sharing value to my customers. So are you doing that today? What would you be doing then that you can be doing now? And maybe it's even, well, I won't be doing this task. And maybe that task doesn't even need to happen now. So, what are you doing then? Or what will you be doing then, I guess, that you should be doing now? Now, you don't need to wait until everything is perfect to start living that best life, that future life, because we get stuck in the mindset of everything has to be perfect. Well, when this is perfect, then I'll do that. Or when I have this down, then I'll do that. That's not the case. And that's something that I struggled with in the past. And it's something that I'm working on now, is because I feel like I need to have a system in place. I have to know how to do X, Y, and Z before I can totally implement it. But that's not the case. That's how we learn, is by testing stuff and doing things. I mean, I was talking to my daughter about this actually this morning, because she's trying out for a volleyball tryouts in a few days. And yesterday night was just a practice. And she went and she hasn't really played volleyball very much. And if you know anything about me, I love volleyball. I played through high school. I absolutely volleyball fan here. And so I really, really want her to play. But she hasn't had that much experience in it. And so going into it, she was excited. She gets there and all the girls, I mean, not all the girls, but a good handful of the girls are very talented. And I mean, this is 7th, 8th graders, 9th graders, some are younger than that are very talented. And so afterwards, I could tell that she was down and we were having this conversation about, well, what's going on, all that fun stuff with the teenager. And she was telling me that, she was frustrated. She was frustrated that she didn't play to where she wanted to be. And it was because she was comparing herself. She was comparing herself to the people that are ahead of her. And so I got onto this concept of basically a mindset, right? Well, you need to think of, you only have so much training. So how can you be your best self now to improve? And so that's what we're kind of going to talk about too with it, is being your best self now, putting your best effort out there now to become the best person that you can be, which is the same thing, becoming your future self now. So when you're in the future, you're going to be putting your best step forward. So what can you do now to start learning to be that best self? I mean, we're kind of all over the place here, but don't worry, it all comes together. So we're going to talk about mindset because that's where it all starts. And there are 2 different types of mindset. There's a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And I'm going to try and put it simply with what each of these means. So a growth mindset is that you believe that your skills can be developed or they are developed, where a fixed mindset is believing that these things are set and they cannot be changed. Okay. So examples of a fixed mindset, because I bet every single one of us has a fixed mindset in something. Okay. It doesn't mean everything is a fixed mindset, but you could have something in a fixed mindset. So examples of this is I'm not good with numbers. I'm not creative. I'm a procrastinator. I'm not smart. I don't know anything about business. I can't make X because of X. I'm not a good teacher, so I can't build a course. I'm not a salesperson, so I can't sell stuff. And this list, it could go on and on because I had to stop. There was so many that were just kept popping into my mind, but I had to stop because guess what? I tell this to myself. And I mean, you have to catch yourself when you're in this because fixed mindsets cause you to avoid experiences where you might fail. So think of that. Fixed mindsets are where you avoid experiences because you might fail. So basically, you're stopping yourself from living your full potential. So that's something that you need to catch yourself on, is see that you are fixed sometimes. There's a fixed mindset that you might have, but you need to figure out how to change that fixed mindset, how to change it into a growth mindset, which is that you can develop those skills. Yes, it might be scary. You might fail, but honestly, you hear this all the time when people ask you when you're like, well, I might fail. What are you afraid of? Why aren't you doing it? And it's always, well, I might fail. And people come back and say, well, what are you afraid of failing in? And it's not being successful. And when you look at it, like this is how I think of it. If I do fail at something, there is something that you learned in that failure. And that's what I've been trying to teach my kids is that, we all make mistakes, but it's learning inside that because that's what helps you grow. That is the growth mindset. You're not afraid to fail because you will get something out of it if you do or if you succeed. Either way, you're getting something out of it. So let's think of it that way. If you are in the fixed mindset of something, you need to change it to the growth mindset and start thinking, okay, either way, I'm going to grow from this by either learning from the failure or learning from the growth. And I mean, normally you benefit from the growth. But we need to basically change that, because having a growth mindset is essential in becoming a successful entrepreneur. I mean, not both. I feel like you're just sitting here in front of me, but we can see the benefit in that between a fixed and a growth. If you have a fixed, you're not going anywhere. But if you have a growth, your possibilities are endless. Really, it is your dreams. So whatever you dream is the potential. Okay? So we could have this whole conversation around mindset. I mean, we kind of already did, but I mean, we could go really far into it. And I feel like I am still evolving with this, and I'm still trying to perfect and grow in my mindset as well. But we are going to only focus on one mindset today. And that mindset is becoming your future self now. Because you could have the fixed mindset of, well, I can't do that because of this. I can't do that because I don't have the numbers. I can't focus on this because I don't have the income. I can't focus on what I want to be in the future, or I can't show up as that future self because I don't have something. That is a fixed mindset. What you need to think of is the growth mindset. You need to think like your future self and start living that way now to grow your business into what you dream about. So in other words, you have this growth mindset that is allowing you to build skills to get yourself to where you want to be. Okay, so no more of that. After I have X done, then I'll start this, because that is a trap. That is a complete trap. And I mean, I've heard people say it over and over again. The biggest one I hear is, well, when I finish doing this, then I'll stop working weekends or weeknights. I'm betting we've all told ourselves this before. And hopefully, if you're doing it now, you can see what I'm talking about, that's a fixed mindset. You can stop working weekends and you can stop working evenings if you put your mind to it. And so that's what we're talking about, is the mindset around living or becoming your future self now. So what are things that you can start doing now to start living your future self? One of the big things is setting goals. So you need to have actually a vision of what you want. What is your future self? And I'm going to hold off right there right now, because you might be saying, well, I don't even know what I want. Like, really, what do I want? And that's okay. At least have a vision. I mean, people say that you should have a vision for 3 years or 5 years or even 10 years down the road. And sometimes that's a lot to look for. I only look to the 3-year picture. So in 3 years, I want this. And if that's too far for you, just say a year. That's fine. So you need to pick these goals. What do you want your business to be like in this amount of time? And then you're going to do small steps that will move you towards that goal each day. Okay. And then you're going to also need to stay positive and believe in yourself. And I know that is so hard to do. I am not an expert in that. I struggle at that very often, but you need to believe that what you want is possible. Okay. And you're never going to give up. Okay. I have a story for you about me personally. I started out in the DIY home space. I think you guys all know this. And if you don't, now you do. And so I started out there, which I was sharing DIY home projects, which is renovating my home, woodworking on top of it, all these kind of things. And about 5 or 4 years ago, I was making $100 a month, $100 a month for all this work. And I remember we were at a friend's house, and my friends are very supportive. This is another thing down on this list later, but my friends are very supportive. And the husband was asking, how's your business doing? And I told him, well, it's going. I'm making a little bit of money. And, I told him how much. And he looks at me and goes, well, is it worth it? Like, are you going to keep doing it? And I looked at him, I'm like, I don't know. It's a lot of work. And I thought about it. I'm like, well, maybe I'll give it another month and see. And it came down to it after that month had come up. I sat there and, really thought about it because I kind of give myself a deadline. And I thought, I can't give up on my dreams. I can't do that. And so I decided to push. I decided to push past that $100 and start putting out more effort to live a little bit bigger. And I didn't realize that now until I'm like sitting here talking about it. But that's what I did is I pushed past the fear and I started living towards what I really wanted to be. And funny enough, later that year, a couple months later, I was making $1,000 a month off the blog. And so that's super exciting. And I looked at myself in the mirror one day and I said, oh my gosh, can you imagine if I would have stopped? Because it's only grown since then. And so don't cut yourself short in what's possible. If it is a dream of yours, don't let anything stop you from trying, okay? Try. And don't stop when things get tough or they're not really what you want, because guess what? It's just around the corner. You just need to learn one more thing before you get around that corner. And that's what I had to learn. I don't necessarily exactly know what I had to learn. And I think it's more that I have to do things slowly and gradual. I am not throw it all on my face at once. It's taken me years to develop things because that's who I am. And everybody's different. So remember that too. Someone else's growth might go crazy really fast and they grow crazy fast and you are sitting back at the beginning still. That's how I was. And it was really hard watching it. But later on, I realized that's what I needed. That's what I had to do for myself. And so don't give up. Okay. Now, the next one is putting yourself at the table. So you need to surround yourself with people who are reaching your full potential, like where you want to be, your goals. Either it's money goals or something else, but you need to put yourself at the table. And this table, it's just a figure of speech, but it can be in many different ways. Maybe it's, okay, I want to listen to this mentor's podcast, so I'm in her world, okay, or his world, or whoever it is. But be in the person's world. That's what I mean by the table. Be in their world, okay? And sometimes that could mean that you do a membership with them. Maybe you do a course with them. Maybe you do one-on-one coaching with that person. Or maybe it's doing an accountability pod group like I have, or a mastermind group, however you want to call it, where these people are all in your world and you're all sitting at the same table pushing towards the same things. Because the next one is surrounding yourself with people who support you. And this is so beneficial. I can't even imagine if I did not have this. I know there's so many people out there, and if you are one of them, you can contact me. I will be your support person because I cannot imagine not having the support that I have had and have in my business. My husband is so supportive. He is always asking me, like, what's the next big thing? Do you need to be working right now? Or did you film that? Or, he's so supportive in what I am trying to do. And I hear people with their family members, their parents that don't understand. And, I did have that in the beginning. My dad didn't understand it. And I kind of started explaining it to him, and he started trying to learn about it after I explained it to him. And now he asks me all sorts of crazy questions. And it's so cool and so exciting that I have these people in my life. And so if you don't have those people in your life, I encourage you to reach out to people on social media somewhere, like find your group of people, because it will be a game changer for you. I know this, and you will know this if you don't have it, but if you do have it, you know what I'm talking about, and I really hope you all do. So if you don't have it, reach out to me. Let's see what we can do about that. Let's try. I am more than open to forming like mastermind groups with people. And so reach out to me if you do not have that group, that support group, because it is so important in you becoming your future self now, because you need to be at the table. And so the next one that I want to hurry in as another question is, how will this help you reach your goals? How will becoming your future self now help you reach your goals? Now, you'll be able to take action in things because you'll see stuff that is more important. So you'll be able to take action in the important things, and you'll be able to stay motivated because you're working on those important things that you actually see the difference in. It's those tiny little repetitive tasks that you don't see the transition, you don't see the growth, you don't see any of that. So when you are living to become your future self, you are doing the tasks that actually get you there. So you see what's possible. And with that, you also will be able to attract opportunities and people who can help you achieve this success. Now, this is also coming back to that table, right? Putting yourself at the table, but the opportunities will come to you because you are living that way. And I know we can all go into the affirmations, right? And all that kind of stuff. And I feel like it's not for everyone, okay? I'm slightly towards it, slightly not. I'm going to be honest with you. But I do feel like if you stay out there, this is what I want, and you work towards it, you can do it. And it might not happen exactly when you want it to, but it will happen eventually. And maybe it'll even be better than what you envisioned. But if you're working towards it, that's the only way that it's possible. Okay. And then next, you'll be less likely to give up because you see the future potential. You know what's there because you're surrounding yourself with all these people at the table that are doing that are living up to that you're not going to give up. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't give up, because I started getting in this world of other people that were making 5K. I mean, way more than that too. But like the 5K just felt like out of this world at that moment, like 5K a month? Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing, right? So put yourself in these positions that allows you to see your full potential and not give up on yourself. And with this, I mean, obviously, if you're trying to reach your goals, you're going to reach your goals. But like I said, just remember, they might not be exactly what you were hoping for because they will be better. Okay. They're going to be better. Believe me. Okay. And I know that we all have different beliefs, but I believe that you're giving things. God gives you things when you need it. And normally, and not normally, it's always going to be better for you than what you could ever imagine. And so just remember that you are given things that you need in that moment. And sometimes it takes a little longer than you want, but you're given to it exactly when you need it. So we kind of talked about if you didn't know what your future self should look like. And you know what? It's okay if you don't know. We talked about, setting these goals, these small little goals, but it can be something as simple as maybe you have a money idea. Like for me right now, I want to make 10K a month. That's what I want. I want 10K a month. I want it to be consistent for 3 months. That is my goal. So what am I doing now to reach that goal? Or what would my future self be doing that I should be doing now? Okay. And to me, that is posting regularly. I always say consistently. I never mean that. It's always regularly on social media and sharing quality content that helps people. Okay. I want people to be able to feel the change in their business and enhance their business in so many ways. And that's the only way that I'm going to get there, because that's the mindset. When in my future self, I am not thinking about the money in my future self. I'm thinking about helping people. And so that's what I'm trying to do now, is thinking about, well, how can I help you help you get to the business that you want to be, how to enhance your business to exactly where you need it to be. And I mean, that's with automation and productivity. Those are some really big steps. And I even want to start talking about finance with that, because that's a big one. People spend so much time on it. It doesn't have to be hard. That's something that I'm starting to realize is things can be simple. And so let's make things simpler. Let's put ourselves in this mindset of becoming our future selves today. Okay. To end this, I just want to hurry and tell you again that if you want to be successful, You need to start thinking and living like your future self. And it's not enough to just have goals and dreams, because we all have goals and dreams. But if you're not working towards them and taking action to get to them, making them actually happen, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to become that future self that you want to be. So we need to become our future selves now. And I hope you see what I'm saying in all of this, that you should be striving to be your future self. You need to look to the future and say, what would I be doing that I should be doing now? What am I implementing? What task am I working on? What mindset am I in? All the things. And if you need to, take a moment, take 5 minutes, take a half hour, sit down and write them out. That's actually what I did. I sat down and wrote out what I would be doing. Because Allie, I talked about this in the beginning, Allie encouraged us to do this. She encouraged us to sit down, write it out, ask yourself this question. If I was achieving X, whatever your goal is, I would be, and you fill in the blanks. So if I was achieving 10K a month, I would be, what would I be doing inside my business? And those are the things that you start doing today. Well, and that's all I have for you today. I encourage you to take the time to sit down and write out what you would be doing today, or what you should be doing today, to become your future self now. And with that, I will see you in my next episode, where we can talk more about different ways to enhance your business.